What's going on, everyone? My name is Kyle Solker, and today we're going to touch on how you can start your own social media marketing agency, content agency, etc., etc., etc. Now, I've actually been working on a course that I might actually give away for free at first, just so people can kind of get a lot of value from. But I want to touch on some of those points in the YouTube channel and some of the kind of get started and how-to points that are easily grasped by the masses, anybody who's looking to get into the space. So that being said, I run a social media marketing agency and I create content for businesses as well. So not only do I run advertisements and have an understanding of how Facebook, Instagram ads, etc. work, but I also create professional photo and video content for those businesses as well. I personally have quite a few employees now, and we do it for quite a few businesses, but it's something that even you as one person, and I know I did for a long time, can do and create some really awesome success in. So a couple questions is, how do you get started? How do you keep going? And how do you get new clients? And how do you build the skill set if you don't have the skill set yet? Now, a lot of businesses, you have an advantage if you're a younger person or somebody who knows how to use social media in general, but a lot of businesses, they might be ran by older people who have no idea what social media is, and they have no idea what the benefit of it is, and what's really playing to your advantage is that you might have a better understanding, A, and B, it doesn't cost anything to be on social media. Yeah, ads cost money, but that's a different story. I mean, it's something that the actual cost for, as far as the value you're getting, is totally worth it. But all that aside, even if you're just running social media pages for people, the cost of entry for you is very low, which leaves a good opportunity for profit, and leaves a good product for the client because they don't have to spend too much. They only have to pay whatever it is that you're willing to take for your personal labor. But this, as a skill set, is pretty straightforward and something that if you're willing to put the work in, you can definitely create some success in. So with that being said, number one would be to have an understanding of how to create content, how to take photos and videos that look relatively appealing, even if it's only on your smartphone. I really want to dive deeper into how to get appealing looking videos on both mobile, your smartphones as well as actual professional cameras, how to edit, etc. But just for starters, if you have a basic understanding or you do have a camera lying around that you can take relatively decent pictures with, start to finish, I would say always edit whatever you take to give it a little bit of a flair. So if I was just saying bare bones, taking whatever camera you have, photo-wise, getting an Adobe Lightroom subscription, which is like $10 a month for Lightroom and Photoshop, and just do some basic YouTube searching on how to use that program. Do some basic adjustments to the photos, make them pop a little bit, potentially add words to it. Use programs like Canva, CANVA.com, to create kind of text effects and stuff like that for your client, and that will be kind of how you can create easy content to manage your social media with, or to potentially create ads with. This is super bare bones, but this in itself could honestly work for you, and especially if you're starting off and trying to provide value to another business. So that being said, next step would be, how do you get clients? And this isn't some elaborate marketing technique here. It's literally you just being willing to put in the work and being willing to sell yourself more than anything. So if you're willing to, build a simple proposal, and I don't let that word scare you, you can literally build this in Microsoft Word. I know I did for years, and list out exactly what it is that you are going to provide for that particular client. So that can be photo and video creation, and that could be social media management, that could be Facebook ads, that could be Instagram ads, that could be, inventory. Say it's a restaurant that you're working with and you want to do, food pictures and keep updated on their specials, what have you. Create a personal proposal that's customized for that business, and then they'll be able to see all of the value that you can bring to the table. And obviously, make sure that your proposal is clean cut, it looks good, and it actually is valuable, whatever you're providing. Try and work on making your skill set as best as it can be. But, maybe take some sample pictures, do some stuff for free for them. I know I did a lot of that stuff myself. And then eventually, you go to enough businesses and you approach a couple businesses, get yourself out there, you'll be willing to potentially get your first client, which, I think if you build a clean cook proposal, which I want to build a template for people so they can kind of use, but like I said, we're just getting started here. If you build something clean and you come in with a good attitude and you're actually providing them a lot of value, you could, potentially have a business pay you, upwards of $500,000 a month without a problem, because it would surely benefit them and it would benefit you, and you could kind of solve a big problem or need that they might have or want. So that's how you would get your first client or first couple clients, and honestly, that you could scale that. But as a one-man show, it's going to be pretty much you building proposals and bringing them into businesses. That's how you would do it. Now, I guess another question that I would get a lot is, how do you legally do it as far as running and operating a business? Now, you can, make, depending on the state you live in, you can make a certain amount of money before you can't, be a contractor anymore by, working within a business, what have you. So what I obviously recommend is starting a corporation, which you could do through sites like LegalZoom.com or at your state's like Secretary of State and stuff. I use LegalZoom. Might be a little bit more expensive, but it's pretty straightforward. It gives you an idea exactly of what you're getting into. Some people kind of overinflate the importance of an LLC. I have one. I don't know if it was really necessary. I pay a little bit more taxes than I think I need to, but it's safer, I guess. You a little bit less liability. Essentially, what it is a limited liability corporation. So that essentially means, from my understanding, that if you, for something, if crap hits the fan, whatever it may be, you are not attached to it as a person. It's your business. So if you're starting an S corp, it's a sole proprietorship that is actually using your social security number, and you are backing the business if you do become bankrupt. But that's so far down the line. Some people might not like that thinking, but coming from experience, I think use whatever is the least barrier to entry, which would be starting an S corp, and get yourself started forever. A few $100s that it is. So we've touched on the basics of creating the content, the basics of getting your first client, and the basics of starting the business. Now it's going to go into just some general tips on what you can do for the client once you first start, and how to keep a page fresh, updated, and some general content ideas so you can be on your way. So number one, Facebook and Instagram are my favorite platforms to use for businesses and advertising. I think they're the strongest platforms, and I think it's where you can post the most content. What I typically do is that I build content out for a week or a couple weeks at a time, or sometimes even months, and I schedule that specific content out through Facebook now or Instagram, and I will create captions that pertain to that specific content. Now, if you have that set up, then you can create custom links in a site called Bitly, and you can track exactly who's clicking on those links through your advertisements or just your general posts, and that's a really good way to track your analytics. So essentially, creating posts through Facebook, getting permission to be on the business's Facebook, which is super simple and straightforward to do. You go settings, business, page roles, and then you send an email to yourself, and then you accept it, and then you have full permission. I personally suggest they just put you as an editor. It gives you full permission to change anything on the page, and you're going to want to clean up anything that's there from the start, which would be like a profile picture or a cover photo. Make sure they look relatively clean. They just have a simple logo. Everything looks good and professional. And if you need to update anything, like I said, you can use Lightroom or Photoshop, or something more straightforward like the website Canva, that you can kind of plug and play different design elements into whatever it is that you're looking to do, make. And you could type in something like, if you're creating, YouTube content for them, you could type in YouTube thumbnail or whatever it may be, and then, insert it into there, and you'll have the perfect formatting and make your life a lot easier. So with that being said, those are kind of some of the basics on how to start a business, how to start getting paid. Once you do start getting, ready to get paid, then you're going to use what I use is QuickBooks. You can use PayPal and a bunch of other things, but essentially what you need to be doing to receive whatever money that you are getting would be to, use QuickBooks to write invoices to those specific companies. You send somebody an invoice, and now that you have a business through LegalZoom or however you get it, you get something called an FEIN, which is a federal employee identification number, and that will give you the ability to start, things pertaining to your business, particularly a business bank account. Mine is through Chase, but you can do it through literally any bank, and you can have multiple. So start a business bank account, and then you can have people write you checks to your business, and then you can deposit those checks into that business bank account. And how you get those checks is you invoice, those companies by either sending it in the mail or sending an electronic copy. So those are some of the just straight basics of starting a content agency or digital marketing agency. There's so many different words for it, but essentially social media agency, any of these things, those are some of the general basics for starting, how to get paid on it, how to get, into it in general. If those seem like it's way out of whack, or if there's no way that's possible for you, that's totally fine. We're going to go over some other options that you might potentially have. And I want to kind of sit down with some of my friends that make money in other areas like e-commerce, etc., just so you guys can get an idea of what possibly is out there for you to make money online in today's day and age, and how you can provide the most value to clients out there by using your brain and using your abilities and technological advancement abilities of being a younger person or just somebody who's up with the time. So with that being said, I want to thank you guys so very much for watching. I know this video is a little bit all over the place, but I hope to bring you value in any way possible. I hope I earned your and deserve your thumbs up if possible. Please leave me a comment in the description below, or send me a DM. My Instagram is Sulkar, SULKAR _media on Instagram. I'll reply to your DM within the same day. Once again, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.